Hello, Svein, and welcome to DNV's Spotlight on Shipping series. As many of you will know, my guest today is Mr. Svein Steinler, President and Chief Executive Officer of NYK Group Europe Limited. And the point of today's conversation is to shed a light on some of the most important topics influencing the shipping industry's decarbonization agenda, and naturally to learn a bit more about NYK's own decarbonization journey. So Svein, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Knut. Thanks for the invite and very nice to be with you.
Great. So let me just start on the first question, Svein. So since COP26 last November, 22 nations signed on the Clydebank Declaration, which aims to create green corridors for shipping. And two have already been set in motion, but this is just the beginning of what needs to be a much wider network of private-public partnerships for decarbonization. And my question to you is really, what can companies like NYK and DNV, for that matter, do to support faster progress in this space, please?
First of all, Knut, let me say that whilst attending COP26, for me, COP26 was a massive disappointment. I appreciate and we all accept and see the need for wanting to work towards a greener globe. But the outcome to me on this occasion was very, very limited. That said, you've got to be positive about what we're trying to do. I think collaboration across companies is very, very, very important. We have, as you well know, a close cooperation with DNV. We have our own program within NYK where we need to work on decarbonization and becoming a greener company. And we, as I'd like to say, one of probably few, try to take measures and to move in this precise direction. But I think the two corridors which currently are there will be a need for more if we are going to have any chance of reaching these overall goals. That said, repeating myself, collaboration is clearly a key for this to happen. Whilst we, of course, need to accept the fact that we are in a competitive environment. And I want to make sure that we sell ourselves as the greenest company to our customers. And in doing so, we might have certain trade advantages which others might not have. So it's finding this fine balance of cooperating and making sure that we look after our bottom line.
Yeah, precisely. I guess that's critical. And if you think about these green corridors and also the fact that we need to mobilize more of the ecosystem to get the supplies needed, my next question is really around the expansion of renewables on land and offshore, and that is on top of the agenda around creating sustainable energy supplies. How do you think shipping could further support or engage with the growing renewable sectors, please?
Well, this is again all about transportation. If you look at the renewable sectors specifically related to offshore wind farms, as an example, you are typically dependent on transportation of the units out to the various fields, and you're dependent on transportation for maintaining these windmills at sea. So there is one issue, let alone the installation. My concern is anybody who's been in shipping for many years knows that we've had the ups and the downs of the marketplace. There are leaders in this marketplace, and there are a lot of followers. And the followers have a tendency to ruin the market at times, which is a concern when it comes to this market as well. The market size is limited, albeit wind farms being now installed globally as such. So that's just one example where shipping will be needed, both for transportation of blades, which to a large degree today are produced in China. The towers are produced partly there as well as in Europe. And then you have the issue of transporting and erecting the units at the various fields. That's one example, just to mention one.
Great. So many opportunities. I would like to dwell a little more on the supply of green fuels. And as we know, the marine fuel transition will be key to decarbonization in shipping. And with studies on biofuels and orders for vessels powered by various alternative fuels, NYK seems to be setting its fleet up for a multi-fuel future. How do you expect the supply of green fuels to develop in Europe and Asia by, let's say, 2030, please?
A big question, Knut. What is a fact today? And I know there are different views. The fact today is that in LNG terms, LNG has been developed over decades. The infrastructure which is required for this specific fuel has taken years. Now, LNG as such is not a green fuel. In NYK, we are working on developing hydrogen, ammonia. We're looking at electricity. We're looking at all these various new fuels, which clearly are there for the future. They will come, and you as DNV will be the first ones to know this. But until such time, we cannot let something good be the biggest enemy of the best. Meaning, with the cut we can make by using LNG, and that's from well to wake, we can cut around the emissions of roughly 23%. If we start blending bio and synthetic, we can go even higher. And to me, whilst this is, we need to start, we as NYK, we've started with the LNG, we will continue with the LNG, but we will be putting major sums into developing alternatives and using LNG as a bridge into something better. But for me, to do nothing today is blatantly wrong.
Great insights, and thank you also for, say, being so clear on the need to do something now. And as we both know, LNG offers that immediate opportunity. So my next question is really around carbon capture and storage, because obviously that is another important piece of the puzzle as the world economy strives to reduce emissions. And how does NYK plan to position itself in this space? And if you allow me, what are the biggest challenges for companies entering the CO2 transport market, please? These are quite big and emerging questions, but nevertheless, I like your input and insights on this one.
Well, let me first of all say that scientists claim that when we can get the capture of carbon started and possibly create this to a traded commodity, the amount of carbon needed to be transported will overgo the total amount of cargo transported on the oceans today. Wow. That is the way they see things. So what we've done in NYK, we have recently formed a company with Knutsen in Haugesund, where KNCC, Knutsen NYK Carbon Carriers, where we, with our experience from having had shuttle tankers operated for years in the North Sea and off the coast of both Africa and South America, we want to use a specific technology, which DNV knows much about, to transport, intermediate store, transport and pump the CO2 back to where, in my opinion, where it belongs. It makes no sense to me at all to be ruining Mother Nature, to try to subsidize, call it black molecules, whilst there are systems today which enables us to capture the carbon there are systems available today which allows us to transport the carbon, and systems available today to pump it, as I said, back to where it belongs, in obsolete oil fields. The Norwegian government is talking of these issues. You have the same in Belgium, Holland, you have the UK. Japan is certainly interested in looking at this. To me, Knut, this is the only way of us having any chance of reaching the climate goals. I say again, hydrogen, future green fuels, renewables, fine. But we are regretfully not going to be reaching our goals unless we now start capturing and storing the CO2 which is produced globally.
Thank you, Svein. That's very interesting. And I think that opens up, if we are successful in this, it opens up the blue fuel alternatives also for the world to enjoy. Svein, I've been a little bit selfish. I've asked you all the questions. I'm not sure whether you have any question to me, but if you do, please launch it now.
No, if you'll allow me to say so, Knut, I think DNV, as the largest classification society in the world, you have a neutral body and a body who is trusted by both your customers and the politicians. You have a big job to do in trying to assist the industry in reaching these various goals. Now, I know that your different customers, they might have different views on propulsion, be it as far as alternative fuels are concerned. But I think in principle, you have a big job to do as far as promotion of the call it renewable energy. And I, for one, on behalf of NYK, certainly much appreciate the close cooperation we have as such, and look forward to lots of interesting discussions and talking about the further development, not least related to IT issues and within other areas of our industry. So that's not a question, it's more a statement, and a thank you to DNV for the assistance you are giving us.
Thank you very much, Svein. We hope to live up to your expectations, and naturally we take it very seriously to try and deliver guidance on many of these issues that we have touched upon. So with that, Svein, thank you so much for sharing your insights, and not least the positioning and thoughts of NYK. And I'm really grateful that you took the time out, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the day. And thank you so much for contributing on DNV's Spotlight on Shipping series. Thank you.
And you, Knut, thank you very much.